Wait. What? Wait. What? Shut your bitch ass up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another GSD episode of the Tradesman Experience. What is GSD? It is, of course, get shit done. I'm going to start by telling you something that I learned from the writings of John Maxwell. Now, I will tell you to this day, I think that John Maxwell is one of, if not the smartest leadership coach, leadership teacher on the planet. I truly believe that. He has nearly 100 books on the topic and surrounding topics. I've had the good fortune of seeing him in person live at conferences speak multiple times. And I think that his laws books, if you want to know what they are, look them up. But his laws books are just staple content in developing leadership teams and personal growth. In one of his books, he talks about something that he calls the law of five. And he explains it this way. If you have a large tree that you want to chop down, you get up every day, you grab your axe, and you walk up to the tree, and you swing it into the tree 5 times. You walk away from the tree, you put the axe down, and you don't approach it again until the next day. I want to unpack that a little bit here and talk about the things that you do to make that possible and the things that you do allow into your life when you don't take the law of five approach. By the way, this is coming from a fully guilty candidate of neglecting the law of five. When you approach it by his description, you have time to inspect and evaluate. You have time to inspect the handle of the axe. You have time to inspect and sharpen the blade of the axe. You have time to evaluate the tree. You might want to take a different approach tomorrow. You might want to position yourself differently on that tree tomorrow. You might start on a different end of the tree. Just because you started chopping on it in this one area doesn't mean that you are committed or obligated to continuing to chop in that one spot. Now, you also, have an idea of how you want the tree to fall, but the law of five, swinging into the tree 5 times, gives you time to assess and evaluate and inspect yourself, your tools, and everything else. And then you have that approach. So the focus really becomes more on the process than it does the result itself. I think that we often, again, speaking from guilty experience, get so result-driven that we want to skip the process. Let's talk about this example if we did not apply the law of five. You're going to make a decision that I want the tree to fall. I want it to fall this direction. You're going to approach the tree, and you're going to start swinging the axe into the tree. You are less likely to evaluate your swings, less likely to evaluate your posture, less likely to stop and sharpen the blade, inspect the handle, and you become kind of obsessed with the lack of result that you're getting. See, when you approach it by the law of five, there's going to be days where you barely make any indention, any solid cuts or chops into the tree, but there's also days where you're going to swing the axe and huge chunks are going to fall out. If you don't approach it systematically, deliberately that way, you're just going to swing the axe, and the only thing you're focusing on is the chunks that are coming out. Now, quick sidebar, if you have never swung an axe or a sledgehammer for sake of this conversation, I'm going to encourage you to indulge into something that will really humble you quickly. Maybe not chop down a tree, but if you have the opportunity to swing an axe into a log until you chop the log in half, or if you have the opportunity to swing a sledgehammer into a tire or just into the ground, see how long you can do that. Because when you approach that tree and the only thing you're focused on is getting the tree down, you are allowing fatigue to set in. Your hands are going to start to ache or blister or bleed. Your shoulders are going to start to fatigue. You are absorbing every one of those impacts that you make in the tree, and we start to ignore it, right? Because grit sets in, discipline sets in. Just this mindset of, fuck the pain, keep pushing, and you keep swinging the axe, swinging the axe, swinging the axe. And you get so wrapped up in swinging the axe that you don't stop to evaluate if you should be swinging the axe or not. I think that's how we approach a lot of areas of our life. Relationships, finance, fitness, work. If you own a business, that's how you approach it. If you are in a leadership position, that's how you approach it. I think that we just pick up the axe and we just swing into the tree expecting it to fall, and we ignore the process. I know I'm guilty of this. I know I'm very guilty of this. And I often have, I'm so fortunate for my tribe, my, less than 6 people. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and I have less than 6 that I depend on with my life that is going to give me feedback, that's going to help me pull my head out of my own ass and go, hey, you're just continuing to swing the axe. You need to stop and evaluate. And I was lucky enough to have one of those conversations very recently. And I'm always thankful when I do. Because in the middle of swinging the axe, if someone tries to help you correct, you just tell them to fuck off because you know what you're doing. You have this figured out. You're dedicated to this one thing. And you really do need to approach it better. Approach it with John Maxwell's definition of the law of 5. And maybe it's 10 swings for you. Maybe it's 7 swings for you. Maybe it's 20. Maybe you have the strength, the endurance, the muscle memory, the foresight that you can do that. But I think it's really important to look at the different areas of our life and ask ourselves, are we just swinging the axe, hoping for a result? So apply the law of 5. I think it's important that you keep swinging. Okay, I think it's important that I think this is a good example of burnout, right? We just keep swinging the axe. We get halfway through. The tree hasn't fallen yet. We get frustrated. We get pissed. We're fucking tired, and we get burnt out. And by the way, I don't think burnout is the symptom. Burnout is the condition. So you have to look at the symptoms of burnout. And okay, what is it? Do I know what I'm doing? Do I know why I'm doing this? Am I doing it effectively? Am I doing it efficiently? Am I sharpening the axe? Am I taping the handle? You've got to take time to evaluate, or you just end up swinging the axe into this fucking thing until one of you gives out. But the dichotomy of that is that you do get up every day and you swing the axe. You do allow yourself to be disciplined enough to get the work done, but not so disciplined that you neglect everything else, that you neglect the approach, the process, and the people. So stay the course, yes. Stay disciplined, yes. Keep swinging the axe, yes. But approach it in a way that's going to allow you sustainability, growth, and success. Till next time, get shit done.